Brothers and sisters, welcome to my daily diary update. Today I'm going to talk to you about what I did on Sunday, March the 5th through Thursday, March the 9th of 2023. So on Sunday the 5th, I was still in Washington, D.C. area, having completed just the night before the CPAC conference on which I updated you already and at which President Trump spoke on Saturday night. Sunday morning, the meetings were finished, so I did some work in my hotel room on emails. For example, I was doing preparatory work for the next day, about which I will tell you in California. Promotion of our upcoming Pro-Life National T-Shirt Day in April. Some communication with our website team about some postings and trip planning for lots of confirmed trips coming up. The Midwest March for Life, some communication about that. Preparation via email for some broadcasts coming up where I will be talking with some of our priests active in Praise for Life around the country, and also with some experts on men and abortion. I'll be doing a live webinar on that. And also communicating with Alveda King about an article she is writing about me and my pro-life leadership for a special commemorative book that is coming out on 50 key pro-life leaders who were instrumental in bringing an end to Roe v. Wade. So that was some of the email work, but I stayed in the hotel room until about midday and then got an Uber to the airport and then flew out to California. Did some work on the plane, also rested a little bit, having been tired from the conference, and arrived in California, checked into my hotel, and went to bed to be ready for the California March for Life. And that's what took place on Monday, March the 6th. Got up early, did some, again, email communication before getting on the road to go to the march. Again, more trip planning. Sent an article to lifenews.com before getting out in the morning. Approving some prospecting mailings from Priest for Life. Following up with various leaders at CPAC, and then planning for helping to lead a national prayer call coming up. A lot of groups sponsor these things and invite me to come on as a prayer leader. Then I went over to the site at the Sacramento, California Capitol building, the site for the rally for this Walk for Life. So what happened there was I arrived and connected with our Silent No More members, and we had an exhibit table there, so I connected with them. And then I visited the various other pro-life leaders at the other exhibit tables. I did some videos for social media posting, interacted with the various leaders who were arriving. Then I walked off to the side at about 10 or 10:30 and did a national media interview with the Todd Starnes Show. Came back, continued greeting pro-life people as they were arriving for the walk. And then just before the rally started, I walked down the street to a nearby Planned Parenthood and did some prayers out in front of that killing center. Then came back and we had the rally itself, which was very good. I was with our Silent No More ladies, and then moved with them towards the front of the march. And we walked right behind the lead banner. They were holding their sign saying, "I regret my abortion." And it was a beautiful witness. It started raining, but we had a good walk for life through the streets of Sacramento, came back to the Capitol building for the conclusion, and I just spent some time, again, interacting with so many groups there. Spoke to a students group, it was a youth group, called Vox Vitae, Voice of Life. I've helped them out over the years, and the leaders there wanted me to address the group and say a prayer with them. So we did all that. And then I headed back to my hotel. I had a little bit of time there in the hotel room to connect with my staff and to do a little bit more email work on the kind of things I mentioned already. And then I headed to the airport for my overnight flight back to Florida. So I flew to Los Angeles first, got there, rested in the airport, and then boarded a midnight flight from Los Angeles back to Orlando, arriving early on Tuesday morning, the 7th. What happened on Tuesday the 7th? Well, from the airport, I went right to the office, and we had all-day meetings of our pastoral team. So when I was in the car, I connected on the phone with the staff and connected with our administrative team and started doing the work of the morning. I was still in the car when we had the first meeting of the day, so I logged in via Zoom, and we had our pastoral team together and began getting updates from various branches of our ministry. So we had an update from Rachel's Vineyard, including Dr. Teresa Burke herself, our pastoral associate who founded Rachel's Vineyard, update from Kevin Burke as well, and an update also from Brian Kemper, who heads up our street activism and youth outreach. By the time that meeting was over, I was just about at the office, got there, unpacked, freshened up a little bit, and then rejoined the meetings that resumed at 10 o'clock. And we had updates from our technology department, from Father Dennis Wild, from our international team, both in Rome and also at the United Nations, an update from our Silent No More campaign, from our Washington, D.C. office, and from our communications director. So that meeting lasted from 10 to 11:15. 11:15, Janet, our executive director, and I went into the TV studio, and we taped an hour-long presentation, workshop actually, for the Heartbeat International Conference of Pregnancy Centers that's coming up in April, and at which we will speak in person, but for which we also did this workshop presentation for their online version of their conference, so as to make it available to those that won't be there physically at the conference, which will be in Louisville. So all of this continued. Now, in between all these meetings, I had to do some work on my emails on things like the approval of press releases going out, the planning of upcoming trips, and also preparation for a national prayer call that I'll help to lead. After a quick lunch, had a meeting with one of our key staff in Washington, D.C., who also handles a lot of our website work. That was a 1:30 meeting. At 2 o'clock, I did a taping in the TV studio with Father Dennis Wild, who has served as our associate director for ever since he came on board in 1998. Been with us a long time. I did a taping with him. And then at 3 o'clock, we had a meeting of the entire pastoral team where we got updates from our website department on website statistics. Traffic is good. From our social media department, the numbers on all our platforms are increasing. From our resource department, the number of products, pro-life products going out continues to increase. And also from our another member of our website department talking about new postings that have gone up. So that meeting lasted from 3 to 4. At 4, I came back into the TV studio and taped our evening program, Praying for America. At 4:30, our executive director and I had a meeting with our Rachel's Vineyard team. At 5 o'clock, our executive director and I had a meeting with Kevin Burke, talking more about Rachel's Vineyard activities and Silent No More. When that meeting was over, I went into my office, and at 5:30, I taped another media interview for the Terry and Jesse show. That was by Skype. Did that right from my desk. And then I moved into some evening paperwork at my desk, getting updates from various staff members, signed a whole lot of birthday cards for donors and for bishops. And then at 8 p.m., had a national call with our Silent No More regional coordinators. So I did that from like 8 to 8:45, something like that. After which, then I had some dinner and finally went to bed after that. So that was Tuesday, the 7th of March. On Wednesday, the 8th, our pastoral team meeting continued. I had to do some work at my desk, doing various tapings and also various email regarding upcoming media regarding email blasts, regarding, let's see, a fax that we sent out to all the parishes across the country. Every once in a while, we'll send out something to the priests to help them, equip them for their pro-life work. The meetings, administrative team, phone call at 8 a.m., staff meeting at 8:30. I gave my update to the team about all my recent trips. We got an update from our fundraising department. Things are going great there. We had another update from our communications director, and then an update from our senior vice president, Jerry Horn. Those meetings lasted until about 9:30. Then at 9:45, I got ready for the next meeting of our staff, which convened then at 10, our pastoral team, I should say. And we discussed our monthly reading. We read a pro-life book each month and discuss it. And I also had a conversation with them about some of our efforts as a team to get more opinion pieces out into different publications, and we got that done as well. So that meeting went from 10 to 10:45. At 11, we had another Zoom meeting with our pastoral team in which we brought on a guest speaker, and we do that every once in a while. After that meeting finished, I had an 11:30 meeting with our executive director and our international team. Again, those who work with us with United Nations relationships, Vatican relationships, and so forth. Had a quick lunch after that. At 1 p.m., our executive director and I met with Father Dennis Wild, our associate director. At 1:30, executive director and I met with Brian, our youth and street activism coordinator, and also with our political outreach associate. At 2:30, I met with our website and technology team. At 3:15, I came into the studio and did a taping with Father David Begany, one of our active priests. We did a half-hour program together, a little more than a half hour. At 4 o'clock, I was back in the TV studio for another taping of Praying for America, our program that aired in the evening. I then did desk work, my daily walk, phone call while doing so, and then at 8 p.m. had the monthly National Election Training Call. That was really good. It went for like an hour and 15 minutes. We had a lot of people on, and we talked about the dynamics in the upcoming presidential race. So that was a national call for election volunteers that I co-hosted with our political outreach director. So that was from 8 to 9:15. And then 9:15, I had a late dinner right there in my office, and then went to bed. And that concluded the pastoral team meetings for this month. And then there was Thursday the 9th. So a busy day of lots of tapings. What did I do? I got up early, did some work at my desk, communication with our team, our international team, regarding the help we give to the Holy See mission to the United Nations, the Holy Father's presence at the UN. Worked with the team that's putting together this pro-life leaders article about me that's going to go into that special book. Men and Abortion Seminar. I communicated with some of the folks that are helping me to do that. It's going to be a live seminar coming up on men and abortion. And then I had to work on a press release with some sad news about the passing of our friend and colleague, Mark Crutcher. Finalize the wording of that press release with our communications team. What happened was a radio interview in the morning with Jenna Ellis, good friend, great pro-America, pro-life attorney. Discussed the abortion issue with her on her national program. Right after that, met with our executive director and executive manager about upcoming scheduling. And let's see, after that, went into the TV studio, and I did a broadcast for our Praying for America program. That was a pre-tape. After that, went back to my office and caught up on desk work and interaction with staff. Speaking of staff, then I had a quick lunch just after noon, and then at 12:30 came into the TV studio, and we had 3 of our staff people on a special broadcast with me. That was really fun to do. We're going to highlight more of our staff on some of our upcoming broadcasts. You'll see that. That was a 12:30 taping. Then at 1 o'clock, I continued taping, did 2 of our half-hour programs, Praying for America, and then after that, taped about 35 or 40 spots that will be used for upcoming social media postings and broadcasts. So all that taping brought me to about 4 in the afternoon, at which time I took a little walk, went to my office, did some quiet desk work, and caught up with end-of-day reports from the staff. That brought me to 8 p.m. where I came back in the TV studio. We did a live broadcast for our Praying for America program. Right after that, I hopped into the car and went to one of my favorite local restaurants, and in the process of so doing, got on the phone with Mark, one of our administrative team members, and our executive director, and our travel coordinator, and various other people. And I was on the phone while I had my dinner and while I got back to the office, still on the phone until from about 8:30 till about 10. And then once all those phone calls and meetings and dinner were over, went to bed. So those were the activities I did from March the 5th through the 9th. Thanks for following these daily updates. I enjoy doing them. I enjoy my work so much that if for no other reason, I enjoy kind of reliving all of it in the process of telling it to you. But it's also a form of accountability and hopefully a form of inspiration for you, as you know that your support of Priests for Life is well worth it. You see the things that we're doing and will continue to do. And I thank you for what you do for this greatest cause of all, the pro-life movement. Talk to you soon.